amounts of right brain activity, because your brain will be struggling to make some sense out of what this fabulous smell is that's got it all excited, and you'll feel your fingers tingling, your neurology will go. You'll be listening to the sound of the wind through the leaves in the trees, and just those low-frequency sounds alone stimulate right brain activity, but they also stimulate healing, which is why people feel so good when they walk along a babbling brook, when they walk through the woods and hear those beautiful bird chirps. These are ways of getting the right brain working. Music does that, because when was the last time you used music to analyze something?
I do that quite often with a band just because they use Fibonacci and different things, but
You are an anomaly, and you're correct. That is one good example.
Right.
But most people will listen to that for their emotional mood. They'll play the music that makes them feel good. And you'll notice, too, most musicians that aren't hyped up on drugs all the time will play music that makes them feel good and heals their body. They instinctively do that. And if you're playing music with your friends in Fibonacci curves, you are right dead smack down the best of the lines for building the right brain.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I got some questions here. I have a chat room running, and I just figured I'd pull some of these questions these people are asking. One thing is, Aaron says hi, by the way.
Oh, God. He is a great guy. Tell him I said howdy.
All right, he's listening. Somebody says, ask Jeff if he remembers having any experience with SRI.
Not to my knowledge. And, boy, if I did, that would be a great answer for me, because, quite frankly, somebody was playing with my head and my body, and I don't have any conscious recollection of it. But there's no way they could have got that implant in without actually doing something, so who knows where they shipped me to.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about implants, you got Duncan in all his implants, and Aaron has his. I mean, we've definitely covered that on this show. Well, how about alpha radiation?
Alpha? I have
radiation.
not. Alpha radiation. I don't have much knowledge base in that area at all. Gamma? Yeah, I know I was exposed to it. We used gamma radiation detectors when we were measuring basis weight on the sheets of paper in the paper mills in the Northeast. When I left the military, I went into process control for a while, and we worked on those systems, so I got a lot of dosing there.
Huh. Also, people are asking about Project 13. Do you know anything about Project 13?
No, I've got no recollection of that.
Aaron has went into a deep conversation on that on my show, so you can expect the listeners to be asking some questions like that when
and I'm going to download his, because he's got data that I think is going to help me unlock a couple of things that I need. I listened to a little of his and Dave Corso's, and there's some pieces of this that just match too well. So at some point I've got to have a sit-down with them. I spoke with Dave briefly at his house one night looking for Aaron, and didn't get a chance to really go into things as well as I would have liked to. But that's coming.
Well, this is a good place for you guys once you connect. If you want to, share some of those stories that are, necessary for people to hear, we can make that happen. There's also a question here.
As I get more of the memory back, I'll bring it out. There's a lot more that's missing in my memory. Most of my childhood memories are gone. Most of my mid-years are gone. And a fair amount of my adult life is gone. I've found that what happens is as I go through life, some things will stick, but most everything just melts away. Whereas a lot of people have tremendous amounts of memory of their life. I don't have a lot of it. So the more detox I go through, the more that seems to clean up and it returns. So yes, I'll be happy to when it comes.
Now, a lot of the products that you have on your website, if you want to talk about some of those, my co-host and I were talking earlier today about the thing that you were telling me about, the head, the helmet thing you have. What is that for?
All right. There's.
I mean, this isn't a big, huge foil hat, is it?
No. in fact, I was listening to Red Ice Radio the other night, and there was a couple of fellows on there, John Hall, I think, and they were talking about Dr. Persinger and his God helmet. And his student was Todd Murphy, an associate. Well, yes, I'm certain that Persinger was involved in some things with the Navy. I don't have enough information on it yet, and we all know that a lot of that's black ops. We all know that the Navy runs most of the intelligence branches. So it's one of those things where I looked at that technology. One of my clients brought it to me, and I said, look, I'm looking for more interesting things in the brainwave entrainment arena because I'm looking to unlock some stuff. And he said, well, why don't you go look at this Shiva neural stimulation system from Todd Murphy? So I went up and looked at it, and he's got a wealth of information. And then I spoke to the gentleman, and it turns out he is one of the leading, I don't even know how to phrase this. He works on the spiritual side of the brain and things like OBEs and RV and all the fun stuff you can do with the brain, and he utilizes a helmet that he designed based on the God helmet that Stan Korn and Persinger invented. Now, the bottom line in this is all technologies can be used for some pretty nefarious purposes, as you might think. I was looking at it to open up parts of my brain that I needed to get back, because now that I'm starting to connect again to the matrix, and sometimes I can do it at will, I developed a protocol that matches, and they wouldn't teach me this. Dames and his group would not teach me what Ingo Swann had originally done without having any help. And so I said, all right, there's got to be a way to get there, and it must be a combination of RV, out-of-body experience, astral projection, consciousness projection, something. So I played with this for several months, and I came up with a protocol, tested it, and it worked. So I called Ed Dames up, and I said, look, Ed, this is what happened. Well, I didn't call him, excuse me. I sent an email to him, and he called me. And I said, this is what happened. And I said, I'm pretty sure this is exactly what Ingo did. And he said, yeah, that was a mentored session without a mentor. And he said, you can't do that and expect it to last because you're so close to the edge of the theta brainwave state, you'll fall asleep because nobody's there behind you to keep you awake and keep you on task. But I'll tell you something, you actually appear at the location, not in a physical form, but somehow in some brain form, as an out-of-body projection. And you see things as if you're actually standing there. And I mean right down to the gnat's ass detail. And it is rich color, perfect shape of everything. You can hear sounds, smell things, everything. So I said to him, okay, so what do I need to do? He said, the only way you can go forward with this is with a mentor. So at some point, I'm going to pick one up, and we're going to start doing some work on that one.
I happened to get a caller call in, and I went ahead and took the call. I don't think you'll mind.
Not at all.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Jeff, it's Aaron McCollum.
Ah, Aaron, how the heck are you?
I've been good. You know, I've really, I've been so busy, and I meant to call you a while ago, but a lot of things have gone on, and I know you're busy too, but I just wanted to say this, that, and I've been in the chat room telling people and, you know, sharing your website and your biography, because people need to know that what you're doing is fantastic, and it really means a lot to me. But also because people like you, they go online, they do these radio shows, and then you have this whole group that really questions if they're legitimate or if there's validation towards them. So just allow me to say, well, I know, and I've had this problem too, but let me just say that I have done my own work, and I can say this and let people express it for how they want to, that Jeff Harvey is definitely the real deal, and he has helped me more than I can express, and the information that he gives out is definitely essential for people to listen to and to understand and also to pursue. Now, beside that, and I promise I'll be quick about this,